Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's On at DisneyPlus.com. It's Friday, it's time for a quick Disney Plus news roundup. We're going to be talking about Poor Things, also be talking about the full Monty and much more. But before we go any further, make sure you do hit that subscribe button and also hit that little like button as well, because that sends a signal to YouTube that you like my videos. But let's jump into it. Okay, so let's kick things off first off talking about the new Searchlight Pictures film Poor Things, which is coming out in cinemas on September the 8th, and so we should expect to see it arriving on Disney Plus and probably Hulu as well later this year. Poor Things is the incredible tale of the evolution of Bella Baxter, played by Emma Stone, a young woman who is brought back to life by a brilliant but unorthodox scientist called Dr. Goodwin Baxter, who is played by William Dafoe. Under Baxter's protection, Bella is eager to learn more about the world, but when she runs off with Duncan, who's played by Mark Ruffalo, a slick and debauched lawyer, on a whirlwind adventure across the continents. Free from the prejudice of her times, Bella grows steadfast in her purpose to stand for equality and liberation. Now let's be honest, the trailer doesn't give any of that away. It looks absolutely bonkers, and I'll be honest, I am really intrigued. The trailer I've got no idea what's going on it. It looks weird, it looks wacky, it's typical kind of some of the stuff we see from Searchlight Pictures. I am looking forward to watching it. It's either going to go really good or it will be crazy bonkers, and yeah, I won't like it. But the trailer itself actually did sell me more on it. It just looks cool. It just looks weird, and I'm liking the idea of it. But yeah, what do you think of it? Are you looking forward to Poor Things when it arrives in cinemas? Or are you going to wait and watch it on streaming when it arrives later this year? But let me know in the comments below. Disney's also released a brand new trailer for the full Monty series, which is going to be coming out on June the 14th on Hulu and FX in the United States, and it's going to be on Disney Plus around the world. It is a British Disney Plus original series, and it follows on from the film from 25 years ago, where all of the the guys that did the whole striptease, we see where they are now, how their life has changed, and it looks like they're all kind of coming back together for like one last performance. The trailer kind of looks very interesting in terms of like a British normal drama series with a little bit of humour put in there as well. I'll be honest, I'm not a huge fan of the original film, which you can watch on Disney Plus here in the UK right now. But yeah, I'll give this one a go. The trailer, if you didn't say this was the full Monty and called it something else, I'd still want to watch it because it looks pretty interesting, and how we've got the dynamic going on with the friends and just how time has gone on. So yeah, this one definitely looks a bit cool, but are you looking forward to watching the full Monty series? Let me know in the comments below. In some other news, Disney is developing a brand new version of the Freaky Friday, but this is going to be a sequel to the 2003 version that starred Lindsay Lohan and Jamie Lee Curtis. They have been friends since. They've been kind of almost willing this project into development. They've been talking about it at a number of different events. Well, now according to New York Times, it is in development. It is underway. But obviously, like writing and all the rest of it can't really kind of carry on at the minute with the writer's strike. But they are working on it. Now, again, no official details have been revealed on this one. But as I said, the two actresses have been very heavily trying to get this project on the go, talking about it at a number of different events and stuff. So that's definitely interesting. I think this could be an interesting way of looking at the Freaky Friday concept of them switching, because now essentially you're going into the idea of maybe someone in their 30s, 40s swapping with someone in their 60s, and the feeling of getting old, and that could be a different take on it. Plus, also then you're going to have the opposite thing of somebody in their 60s then getting into a body of like a 30, 40-year-old, and therefore feeling full of energy and just feel like they've almost got their life back. And I think that could be much more exciting rather than doing the typical kind of high school system. So that might be a good way of doing it. I also like the fact that Disney are doing something a little bit different with the Freaky Friday story, because they've already done like 4 versions of it, 3 of which are on Disney Plus now. One of them hasn't quite made it over. But yeah, do you want to see a Freaky Friday sequel? I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below on that one. Okay, let's now talk about what's new on Disney Plus today, because it is Friday, and the big new release is Crater, a new original film, which I enjoyed. I thought it was pretty good. It was a nice, easygoing family film. You basically got a group of kids on the moon, and they basically nick a moon buggy and kind of head off to try and find a crater, which one of them, their late dad, has said they need to go see. I'm going to get into spoilers and stuff. I thought it was good. It was a little bit slow at the beginning, but it got better as it went on. It's pretty hard hitting at the end, actually. There's some stuff there that I wouldn't have expected Disney to kind of cover. But if you're an adult, you'll understand it a little bit more with the idea of time passing and people moving on. Whereas kids might not necessarily pick up on that and just kind of gloss over it and move on. So I thought they did that very well. But that is a really good movie. So if you're going to watch something over the weekend, yeah, give that one a go. I enjoyed it. I thought it was pretty good. It's not amazing, but for a straight to streaming one, it could have done maybe with some more money being spent on it. You could also tell that it was made during the pandemic because it's a very empty movie. There's hardly anybody in it. The scenes are very empty, because you just got the people that he needed for that scene. But that's the only little thing. And that was more of me kind of looking and going, yeah, this just feels a little bit of an empty thing. And the moon doesn't kind of feel like big and expansive. It kind of feels more like, oh, we're on the volume. But yeah, no, it's on that. I still think it's a very good streaming movie. One of the better movies I've seen recently. But there's been a lot of kind of mediocre stuff coming onto Disney Plus lately and onto Hulu. Speaking of mediocre, quick word on something else I just want to bring up. I've seen White Men Can't Jump. That's coming to Disney Plus next Friday. It's an okay film. There's some funny moments in it, but it didn't quite do it for me. It was okay, but I can't go into too much more detail. I'll have a review up next week for that one on the website. And also today there were some other new additions, like here in the UK we did get Bend It Like Beckham, that one's on there, and also in the US there were some Spider-Man films, so we've got Spider-Man Homecoming and also Venom, so two big Marvel films. In Canada you got one of the Ghost Rider films, so again you got something Marvel-y there from Sony. But yeah, let me know what you're going to be watching on Disney Plus this weekend. I'd love to hear it. Now let's jump into some questions. Now we had a few yesterday with obviously all the news of what's going on with Hulu and Disney Plus. So let's just jump into some. So Kent said, so for now, each offering will still be separate but accessible in one place. At least it's a move in the right direction. I imagine that the Hulu branding won't go away but will be integrated into Disney Plus as a channel. Now this is the key thing with this, is we don't really know how the integration of Hulu is going to work into Disney Plus. They have just said that you're going to be able to get access to it. Now, I suspect that, if you're a subscriber to Hulu or you're on the Disney bundle, you're going to have the full access to everything. Basically, unlocks it. And that's kind of their way of kind of getting to the Hulu content and then kind of unlocking, all that bits and pieces that are in there. Now, they have said about removing stuff, and is everything going to be in there? I don't think you're just going to click on the Hulu button in Disney Plus and then it brings up the Hulu app. I don't think it's necessary. It's not that simple. They are going to have everything integrated in there and have to load things up. But how this is all going to work, we don't know. How they're going to do Hulu Live TV. Maybe you have to go into the Hulu app for that. Maybe they're not going to carry on with that. Maybe they're going to sell it. The Hulu brand as well is very interesting with what they can do with that one. I think in the US, it's been around a long time. It's one of the longest running streamers. There is value to the Hulu brand. I also feel like it's a good way of kind of using the Hulu brand to kind of keep it in a little bubble away from the Disney Plus side. And we saw that when Disney used the Star branding to kind of integrate slowly to kind of set like a boundary of going, whoa, no, it's Hulu on Disney Plus, rather than kind of saying it's just on Disney Plus. Eventually, you start seeing them with branding and stuff that they start getting rid of it. I don't really see much of a need for a Hulu brand long term on Disney Plus, but in the short term of kind of blending it over and getting people used to it until they know what to expect, that is an easier way of doing it. Maybe also in the US, it might be easier to have the Hulu brand and then you go into there and it expands out and therefore it's kind of separated. But I don't know. Obviously, we've had Star internationally on Disney Plus for, over 2 years now. We're used to it. And it's very interesting as well, like with comments and stuff on social media and on videos and stuff of, it's much more well known that this is happening. But yeah, there's a lot of questions about the merger, how they're going to do it. So the apps are still going to be separate because at the minute, Comcast still owns 33% of it. So they can't fully integrate it. If they keep it separate, and Comcast are making the money from it, there's a way of them kind of keeping it until they maybe sort out. Once it's fully purchased, they might be able to then kind of dump the Hulu app. I expect ESPN Plus will then be available within Disney Plus as well. They've already done that with Hulu. It's a little bit easier for them, and then they can just primarily focus. But we're kind of seeing a shoehorning in of just trying to get everything in to get that content into Disney Plus. There's a lot of interesting things of all of this coming together, but there is going to be more questions. I think this coming Sunday I'll be doing the Q&A and I already know the questions that some of the patrons and YouTube channel members have been submitting. So there's lots of great, it's basically going to be a Hulu show. So yeah, make sure you check that one out on Sunday. Well, anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Make sure you go check us out over at what's on at disneyplus.com. Like, follow, and subscribe. And I shall see you guys soon. Laters.